All right, everyone. Well, welcome and thanks for joining us for another Smart Money Talk. We got some great information to share with you and a wonderful guest speaker. This is Marty and Cheryl, Master Coordinators with Shaklee. And with that, Cheryl, I'll let you take it from here.
We're so excited tonight. We're going to just cover one slide and then we're handing it over to Master Coordinator Jeff Boltinghouse. He's second gen. His parents are pillars in the Shaklee community, and we're so honored to have you with us tonight, Jeff. So let's get this show on the road.
All right. So people with choices choose Shaklee. Let's talk a little bit about that.
You know, Shaklee has spent more on R&D than any other company we know of. They were the first carbon neutral certified company. They've been on every space mission since 1993. They pioneered advances in nutritional science. Generational leaders, we have more of them than any other company. We have cutting edge life enhancing products. We have more people who have been paid over $1 million than any other company. We have 120 published papers in peer reviewed journals, not the kinds you pay to get into. They're the kinds you pray to get into. Let's take a peek at Jeff tonight, our special guest speaker. We're so excited. His family joined Shaklee in 1970. His godmother introduced them to the business, and she never built a business, but she was a faithful user. And his mom, Joanne, saw the big picture. In 79, his mom and dad were pin masters in Vienna. Shaklee doesn't play.
That's awesome.
And he tried the real world for about 10 years. Maybe he'll fill us in on that. He saw people like him getting free cars and trips with Shaklee, with time and lifestyle. He went to work earning the basics, and in 86, he became a director. 96, he was pinned master coordinator in Maui. And now he's working on senior master by New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
He's traveled the world racing cars, worked on NASCAR Cup and truck teams. He lived on a yacht. Guy hasn't had a boring life. Basically, he's lived his dream. He had choices, and he still chose Shaklee. He moved to the Lake of the Ozarks to help his dad after his mom passed. His sister and her husband have his parents' business now, and he runs it for them. They get half the check. His dad gets the other half. How amazing that you can do that for your parents. I just love that part of Shaklee. And his family obviously loves Shaklee. They've had over 40 bonus cars and more trips to Hawaii and around the world than he can count. Pretty amazing what Shaklee can do if people will work it. He loves sharing this wonderful life-changing opportunity. It's so simple. He knows if he can do this, anyone can. And he truly believes there has never been a better time to grow Shaklee than now. Health, wealth, and the time to enjoy. So he says, thank you, Shaklee. And so, Jeff, with that, we'd like you to unmute, and we're going to give this over to you.
All right, beautiful. Thanks, Jeff, for being here. All right, there we go.
There we go. All right.
Yay.
I love technology when we can figure it out. No, it's great to be here. At first, thank you, Marty and Cheryl, for doing our call last week. It's an awesome business. I mean, I did our call a couple hours ago, and where we're at right now, there's never been a better time. I mean, there really hasn't. I grew up with Shaklee. Like Cheryl said, I back in 1970, Mavis, my godmother, came out and introduced Shaklee to my parents, gave them a bottle of Basic H, and mom and dad. My dad was a successful dentist. My mom was a school teacher. You know, why would you even approach him? But Mavis loved the product, shared it with them, and all of a sudden the teachers started asking why my mom's skin complexion cleared up and why she was a first grade school teacher. Why were her blackboards, remember the old chalk blackboards? Why were her blackboards and those little press back plastic chairs cleaner than everybody else's? Well, she used Basic H and she used Shaklee skincare. And they all literally, this is how their business got started. Everybody started asking her, Joanne, what are you doing? She said, well, it's that stuff Mavis sells. And they wanted some. So mom and Mavis, who Mavis never did build a business, she was always a faithful product user, but they did a 6-hour marathon meeting, told everything about what Shaklee did, how they loved it. And, to this day, there was 8 ladies there. They said it was a marathon meeting. There were 8 ladies there. There's one that's still alive. She still uses Shaklee to this day. Every month she orders, month in, month out. People say, well, how much money did you make on that first business presentation? I don't know. She's bought a couple $100 worth of products every month for 50 years. We have another lady that she wasn't at the first meeting. She was at the first few. but she's passed away. But not only does her daughter buy every month and buy a lot, 400 or 500 PV a month, her granddaughter now buys. So that the products work. That's the whole, and in the presentation I'm going to show you tonight, that's what makes it happen is the products work. People buy them over and over and over again. I mean, friendships only go so far. If the products don't work, people aren't going to buy them. But when you got a 50-year track record of people buying over and over and over, it works. And that's why when I do this presentation, I share it with everybody because people need what we got. Our products work. And you know what? If they don't like them, we give them their money back. So they have nothing to lose. You might as well try them. And that's the whole premise that I do the Power of One on, because our products work. Obviously, we are the world's leader in nutrition. We got the landmark study. My dad was part of the landmark study. We got 66 years of no bounce checks, bonus checks paid, $9 billion paid out. The business model obviously works, but the products work, and that's what makes it go. I mean, it's the consumable internal consumption that makes this happen. And what I'm going to share with you tonight is the Power of One. It's you just talk to one person and share it and use the products. And it's pretty amazing. And then I'll go through a little bit of the basics with you, and I'll share the presentation with Marty and Cheryl, and they can share it if they want to. But, I go back, I guess, to, building the Shaklee business. Mom and Dad were pin master, like Cheryl said, in 1979 in Maui. I got to go on some Shaklee trips. I graduated in 76 when Mom and Dad were building their business. I got to go on some pretty special Shaklee trips are like nothing you've ever been on. In 1976, I went to Acapulco. 2 weeks earlier, Howard Hughes passed away. I'm one of 200 Shaklee kids that took a tour of Howard Hughes's penthouse at the Princess in Acapulco, given by his personal attendant. I mean, he told about his fingernails and the masking tape on the windows, and the extra perks Shaklee gives her, and I could go on. I could talk about these for hours. So I got exposed to Shaklee, what it was, and then I graduated from high school, went to college, and like I say, got beat up in the real world. And then I realized, whoa, all these people that Mom and Dad talk to are no better than I am. They're getting free trips, free bonus cars, traveling around the world. And I'm busting my rear end painting houses, trying to figure out what's going on. I said, wait a minute, this ain't right. So I went back and looked at Shaklee. And in 1986, I became a director, got my free car and so forth. In 96, I got pinned and master in Maui, one of the Maui masters. And then I got the luxury of being able to take some time off. My mom and dad gave their business to my sister and her husband. I took my mom and dad in with me. Mom and dad ran the business, and I went and played. My goal was to retire by 40, and I did it. I went, and I'll share my screen right now, and I'll go ahead and get started with. Oh, you got to give me permission to share it. There we go. Yeah, remove this thing here because it gets in the way. Slideshow. And if anybody can do this, anybody can do it because I'm not real techie. I'm not a big Facebook. Come on, go full screen there. How come it's frozen?
It's that little icon that looks like a screen.
There we go. We got it. We got it. It's probably my computer. I got so much stuff on it that's slow. But anyway, I don't know where I was with that. But Shaklee, I went out in the real world and got beat up enough and came back and thought, you know what? Time to build a Shaklee business. I'd seen enough people do it. And this is the presentation, this Power of One I'm going to share with you tonight. the Power of One presentation that I use to show people the business opportunity. Because I've got some people in my group that do 30, 40, 50,000 PV a month, and it's incredible what they do. I'm not that person. I'm not a heavy duty nutrition person. Yes, I love the products. I believe in the products. I'm more business focused. I want to talk to people about changing your life in business. And I found that I needed a very simple way to show it. And this came, Marty Frederick, Master Coordinator Marty Frederick, came up with the idea of the Power of One. And I kind of adapted it to what I do. And so that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. But I want to build organizations. Right now, I'm running between 160 and 170,000 organizational volume. I need to get to 200,000 to be senior master. That's my goal. There's something that's very similar to when my parents built to master coordinator in 1990 or 1979 and what's going on right now, and that's inflation. Back in 1979, the gas prices were through the roof. Inflation was going nuts, 17% interest rates, and we're in there now, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So that's the approach I take. But let me back up a little bit about it. I'll show you it right now. And I'm going to touch on some of these things as I go through this presentation. I'm going to touch on tax deductions. I'm going to touch on bonus cars. I'm going to touch on the lifestyle. That's the yacht. It was a 46-foot pacemaker called the Lady Xanadu, and that's in Tampa. And I'll tell you what, that was always a dream. I wanted to live on a yacht. So that was my Lady Xanadu. The top left car, that's my favorite Shaklee bonus car. It was a 2001 Corvette. I mean, Shaklee's given me all kinds of cars. Boy, was I a lot younger back then. But that's in Sedona in the background. And then the Cadillac, that's the bonus car I got right now. I can tell you about trips all over the world that Shaklee's taken me to, but I put the one picture there, the small one. Those are pictures of Cabo, because you don't care about the trips that I've been on. They make it real because Shaklee is real, but that's Cabo. Anybody that's on this or see this video, you can qualify and go to Cabo with us. And if you really work hard, you can have dinner at Roger's house at Cabo with us. So that's why the only trip picture I put on there is Cabo, because that's important to you. Now, Shaklee's kind of unique. You see the horse and buggy there. I've got a big Amish group. Shaklee, not only will you buy you a free bonus car, they'll give you a horse and buggy. I mean, what other company does that? I mean, then I put the two race cars. You know, Cheryl said that I race cars. The top left, the white one, that was the Hooters, the Pro Cup car. And then the yellow one was actually, that pickup was the one that I had the most fun with. That was the one that if I hit the wall and totaled it, I could afford to rebuild it. But if you see, they both have Shaklee on them. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. It's not only how much money you make, but it's how much money you keep. And I like that hobby, and that's not a cheap hobby. It's like I told Cheryl and Marty earlier, how do you make a small fortune in racing? You start with a big fortune. And owning your own race team, when I drove for somebody else, I used to think, oh, shoot, this is going to hurt when I hit the wall. Because you got a little time to think about it. Most of the time, you know you're going to get it. But when I owned the team, it was like, oh, shoot. And usually I'd say something else in my helmet. This is going to be expensive. And so, but the neat thing about it was putting Shaklee on there, that's advertising and that's tax deductible. That made my hobby tax deductible. So it's not always how much money you make, it's what you keep. But here's the presentation that I use and I show people, you know, what are you doing to offset the 10% inflation and secure your future? Because it's happening. And if you don't, you got your head in the sand and you need to pull it out. And it's not going to get better for a while. So what are you doing about it? You're going to work extra money. You're going to quit going on trips. You're going to eat hot dogs instead of steak. I mean, if you like hot dogs, great. I like a hot dog at a baseball game. But at home, I just didn't have a steak. So what are you going to do about it? Because it's real. I mean, it's the only thing that most of the people in this country actually agree on anymore, is inflation is hurting us. So do you have a plan B? Do you have a passion gig? Do you have a side gig or whatever? What are you going to do? Because it's real. You can stick your head in the sand, but it's happening. So let me ask you this. If you found something that changed your life and you knew it could also change the lives of others, would you keep it to yourself? Or would you share it? You know, if you hear somebody talking about, I don't know how I'm going to send my kids to school. I don't know how I'm going to pay for food next month. I can either pay for my electricity or I can pay for gas to go to work. What are you going to do? If you had a solution, would you share it? And that's what I'm doing. So what if there was a simple way to redirect money that you already spend on a few products every month that could dramatically increase your income? Would you want to know more? Would you like to see what works for us? Because this works. Now, I go through with people and I share when I'm doing this in person with them. I've got this sheet printed out. It's called the Shaklee brand, Changing Brands. You know, most people take a shower, wash their clothes, wash the dishes, shampoo their hair. Actually, more people now take vitamins than don't take vitamins in this country. So I sit down with them and check off, what do you take on the left side? And then on the right side is the Shaklee products that offset that. So I'm not talking to them about, you know, okay, I know we're better. We've got the landmark studies to prove it. That's not a question, but I'm not going to get into convincing them. I'm talking right now, strictly business. Do you want to change your lifestyle? Do you want a plan B? What do you use now that you could change to Shaklee? And when I'm doing this with them, I sit down in a conversation with them. I don't, you know, I'm kind of going through it here almost as an instruction part, but talk to them because we've got solutions and we've got products that fit them. So anyway, when you're looking at Shaklee and you think, what kind of opportunity is there? Well, we're in a $360 billion a year business, and we're the leaders in the industry. And when I get to the last slide, I'll share some of that and you'll see them. But we're in a $41 billion health solutions, or 105 billion, weight loss, beauty, healthy home. You know, we're not some weird off the wall product. You know, we're products that people use every day, and we're consumable. And that's what makes this business work. It's consumable. So if you want to play in this game, and some people like the name game, it's actually a business and it's a big business. But if you want to play the game, all you got to do is simply try the products and redirect your spending. You're changing brands is what it is. So you change your brands, try the products. If you like them, you continue to buy from yourself. The local grocery store owner here does not go to Walmart to buy his groceries. He buys from himself. So if you love the products and if you don't, you love the products and the benefits, or we refund your money. You have no risk. The worst thing that can happen is you get a free month's worth of trying our products. The best thing that can happen is you see the opportunity to play the game. So if you like them, you continue to buy from yourself, and then you tell one person a month. You think you know one person a month that's hurting because of the economy, because of inflation, high gas prices? I'd sure hate to be paying literally $5, $6 a gallon of gas to drive to and from work. I love working out of my house. How much money do I save there? But anyway, you tell one person a month and they repeat the process. It's that simple. That's why it's called the Power of One. What this does is it shows the power of geometric progression, the power of growth. But anyway, the key to this model is working is the products are consumable. It's not like if you're a car salesman, you sell a car, you're not going to, you may give great service, but you're probably not going to sell them a car for another 4 or 5 years. Shaklee products, people buy over and over and over every month. It's consumable. You don't need to go redo it. That's why, I mean, I've had customers literally for 50 years every month. So it just stacks. So the products work. They save people money. The cleaners will save you a small fortune. There's no big investments and you already buy products like this. And here's how it starts. Month 1, see that big circle? That's you. Write your name in there. And you share it with one person, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, my cleaning lady I sponsor. She's now a distributor, uses only natural cleaning products, and she uses them and advertises that she's a environmentally safe cleaning products. And she's a distributor. She hasn't told anybody yet, but she's only sponsored 1 month. Month 2, you find one other person, they find one other person. This isn't rocket science. I know Rick Seymour was a rocket scientist before he came into Shaklee, but you don't need to be a rocket scientist to build this business. It's really pretty simple. Buy one, sell one. Now, month 3, you got 3, but it just keeps growing. Month 4 and month 5, it gets to be too many circles to put on it. But month 5 is 32, 64. Month 7, and month 7, if you've sponsored 7 people and taught them to do the same thing, you're not, none of you're out selling garage fulls of products. It's all internal consumption. You use the products, that's all you're doing. But in month 7, if you do that and everybody did it, you're at $3,500 a month income, a luxury trip to Cabo, and a car payment. That's pretty good. What this does is it dispels the myth that you got to know 10,000 people, because that's not how it is. I haven't sponsored that many personal people. I help other people, which is what you'll get to do. But month 8, month 9, month 10, you're at $10,000 a month in a car and a trip. Month 12, you're in a high 6-figure income. Now, before I get in trouble with anybody in false advertising or anything, this is a model. It's not going to work exactly like that. You're going to have some people who just want to buy products. You're going to have a couple that want their money back. This is just a model. I'm going to show you at the end on the last slide. I'll show you actual Shaklee numbers out of their computers. So don't get me wrong. I'm just showing this as a model. Can I make that clear? This is not Shaklee numbers, but it shows you how it works. You don't need to know 10,000 people. You know a dozen people, and you can change their life and the world. Mavis changed my family's. Go back to Mavis and the story, changed my family's life forever. If Mavis would have prejudged my family and said, oh, Earl's a successful dentist, Joanne's a school teacher, they wouldn't want Shaklee. My life would be completely different. I can't even imagine. So don't prejudge people. You got absolutely nothing to lose. Try it. Try the products. If you don't like them, I'll give you your money back. You can't play the game, but I'll give you your money back and you don't have anything to lose. So it's 100% no risk guarantee. Welcome to the team. Health, wealth, and the time to enjoy it. That's been the tagline of our company for years. Health, wealth, and time to enjoy it.
Bravo.
So let me go real quick over the Shaklee lifestyle. This is what we call the bolt sheet. Some of it will be a review. This is what I used to use as my presentation. I've added the power of 1 so that I can show you the numbers beforehand. But why do people get involved with Shaklee? The lifestyle. Look across the top. The health, the income, the time, tax benefits, and we are a company with a purpose. You know, I don't think you'll find a more wholesome company. I don't believe it, but we are what we are. We're the best. Okay, enough of that. But what I'm talking about today is the income. The income, your time, and your tax benefits. That's the 3 that I'm talking about tonight. Yes, we're a company with a purpose. I'll show you all that stuff. I mean, it's like we've been on every NASA flight since '93, and you know, all the great things we do. You'll learn all that stuff. The health, I'll show you the landmark studies and stuff. We'll get into that later. Right now, we're talking income, time, and tax, because you know what? To start this business, I'm talking a couple hours a week. You know, you listen to somebody, they're complaining about the gas prices. Hey, I got something you might be interested in. Doesn't take a lot of time. You sit down and show it to them and follow up with them. But anyway, what is Shaklee? there's three questions basically people ask. What is Shaklee? How does it work? And what's the next step? So what is Shaklee? We're in the network marketing, multi-level industry, been around 65 years, AAA plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and our products work. We're the #1 natural nutrition company in the United States, all kinds of money spent on research. I think it's actually over 400 million now. Over 125 peer-reviewed journals, 153 Olympic medals, gold, silver, and medal. So, Shaklee's been around. We're the very first company in the world certified climate neutral. When they told me that back in, when I heard it and I was at the home office, I didn't even know what it meant. They had to explain to me what it meant. And it's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. So, and then you see it says paid over $7 billion in assets. It's actually over 9 billion. But you see that, what is Shaklee? That's who we are, and we'll get into that later. The products are across the bottom on this sheet for a reason. That's the foundation. You see, we got the protein shakes, the weight loss programs, the natural nutrition, the sports nutrition, the skincare that is second to none in the world. I mean, you want to take age off, you want to get rid of the wrinkles, you want your hair to grow back, your nails to be strong, talk to us. And then, of course, the cleaners that will save you all kinds of money. But those are on the bottom because that's the foundation. That's what makes the Power One work. That's what makes this Bolt sheet work. That's what makes Shaklee work. When you have customers for literally 3 generations over 50 years, the products work. It's that simple. So you see the stair steps, and I'll kind of wrap up with this. The stair steps, people come in as members. That's the participation level. They save money. I've got literally in all the years, hundreds of people that are members and buy products. Love them to death. But what I'm talking about tonight is, do you want to make some money? Do you want to build an organization? Do you want walk-away income? Do you want retirement income? Do you want to not have to worry about it? That takes to start out at the distributor level. Distributor, you can start sharing the products. You can start sharing the opportunity. You can start sharing the Power of One. And then it just goes director, senior director, and so forth, on up the ladder. And that's just those ranks. We'll get into that later. Those are just on how many people you've helped. And obviously, the more people you help, the more money you make. But you see underneath those titles, there's numbers like senior executive coordinator, $65,020 or $5,418 a month. Now, when I'm doing this, when I used to do this sheet alone, I would say, ask people, circle me the income that where you would like to be making. And then from there, we can build a plan to get you there. But the point is, that first model I gave you on the Power of One, that was just a model. These are actual Shaklee numbers. If you're a key coordinator, the average key coordinator in Shaklee makes $95,867,000 a year. That's right from Shaklee's 1099s. That's no pie in the sky. We don't need to build pie in the sky because we got what it takes. So anyway, I go over that with how it works. Then what's the next step? I ask them, what did you like about the presentation? But the next step is really the product conversion. Are you interested in looking? Is it something you'd be interested in? And when I do this, I feel like I'm taught, I always have a challenge when I'm doing these presentations on a Zoom or to a group, because when I'm doing it one-on-one, and I've got this presentation on my iPhone even, I'll sit down and I'll have a conversation with people. It's not so much me talking at you. It's me having a conversation with you. What is worrying you? Well, I don't know how I'm going to pay for my kids' college. Well, I don't know how I can't afford the gas to go to work to get my paycheck. My car broke down. I don't know what I don't want to bring up something dumb, but I just had a whole sewage backup where I'm at in my house. I have to put in a whole new septic tank. It's going to be $25,000. You know what? It was really nice. Is it something I want to do? No. but it was really nice to be able to have the Shaklee business and the Shaklee income to think, okay, I'm not excited about it, but it's not going to devastate me and cripple me. And so that's kind of where we're at. That's where I asked him, now let's do the product conversion. Let's set up a next step. But first thing to do is find out and get, and if they tell you no, okay, you're not wasting any more time with them. But if they tell you yes, now we can work with them. And I tell you that working with this has been the easiest thing, because I go back to when mom and dad built. When my mom wanted to go to Vienna, Austria, she never missed a convention. And in January, the convention was going to be in August in Vienna. And the only way she was going to qualify was to become master coordinator. At that time, it took 15 first levels at $3,000 a piece at a lower cost of products. She did 293 business presentations between January and May, because she had to be broke out by the end of May in order to qualify for the August trip. She broke out 6 sales leaders. She did 293 presentations. These are just on a napkin or a piece of paper. Basically, it was the power of one. They did what they called the 5x5 at the same time. But the point is, she shared what was going on, and the common denominator, 1979, we were in a recession. Gas prices were through the roof. We're in that same thing. Very seldom, for lack of better words, do the planets line up or whatever. You can always build a business in Shaklee. I built mine in the 80s, in early 90s. And it took longer. I think right now, if you're interested in looking at business, there's never been a better time. I hate to say it because of the economy, but people need what we got. And if you show enough people this, you'll build a business. You can't help but build a business because people want what we got. Okay, I rattled on.
Bravo, good job.
Very, very good. I love it. Very,
you.
very simple, very relatable.
Your
And
mom would be very proud of you, Jeff.
I think
thank
the
you.
stars are truly in alignment, and the best is truly yet to come. So let me share with you one last slide. And I think you'll get the idea of how this is. There you go.
We're ready for liftoff.
That's right.
We are.
Jump on for the ride of your life.
And like you said, Jeff, people are looking harder now than they've ever been before with this increase in overhead for everybody in every area of their life. People need what we have. And we, on top of that, have products that will help them handle stress and think better, make better decisions. And that's going to help them be better dads, moms, siblings, kids, teachers, everything. So it's really an important time for us to be sharing the power of Shaklee.
It really is. I mean, I look at the products we got are awesome and they help people. But I've literally found in the last few months that if you, at least for me, and that's where I'm coming from. So, and I've got Anna Mary and some people. Anna Mary does 34,000 PV a month, every month. She blows my mind. But I don't know. It's been easier for me to talk about the business. When I'm talking to people lately, they think, man, I can't afford something else. I can't afford that. Even though we can sit down and some of them that want it, but if I'm talking to somebody brand new, if I talk to them about the business and changing brands, they're not thinking, oh, I got to spend extra money. I'm already spending money on those products, and you're going to show me a way I can make money. It's like you guys. Paid to be green. I mean, you're green. You're not only paid to be green, you're saving the planet and you're making money. I mean, Shaklee's pretty awesome, really.
Shaklee's the mother lode of green. Thank you for joining us tonight. And for everybody who did get on, I'm so grateful you did. I'm sorry we had a challenge. We don't know what happened with the link, but this will be up and running on the martyandcheryl.com. So Jeff, again, thank you so much. We're going to stop the recording now.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you joining us.